Hi. Welcome to the Way Out Tarot. This will be your timeless general reading. The intention that I set before every reading, Libra, this one included what I ask for, what I pray for, are messages in the form of guidance that you need to know whenever you find this video. I'd like to thank you all for liking, for commenting, subscribing, donating, all the love that you've been showing to me and this channel. I appreciate you. As you watch, I encourage you to use your intuition and knowledge of your own experience to interpret the messages that come through. The paths that you all walk are not identical, but it's my belief that your presence here means that all of you and I, we have a shared interest in gaining insight into what's happening now and how we can better understand ourselves and our experiences to affect change in our lives. That being said, we'll go ahead and get started. Overall energy for you, Libra, we have the Tower. Divine intervention is at hand. Divine intervention is at hand. The Tower card is Tower moments, I should say. They're not moments that we should ever fear. Tower moments could come in the form of information, wisdom, situations, events that are unexpected, but they are breakdowns that we need in our lives for whatever reason. Now, it's important to note that these breakdowns, these shocking realizations, it's not only your lives that they have the potential to happen in. I get the sense that you are the one who is facilitating this in the lives of others as well. So there are constructs that I feel you're breaking down. There are constructs that I feel you're breaking down. You have this ability to introduce a perspective in the lives of others that is so unique, that is so groundbreaking, that it has the potential to change them for the better. The tower moments, when they occur, they are always necessary because it's that time. You see, we don't only learn through comfort. We don't always get what we need in the form of things that make us feel good, things that please us. And you are not in the business of pleasing people and conceding to them, to their way of seeing and doing things. If there are things that are fundamentally or ethically wrong about those methods. So there's something that's breaking down that you're going to be happy about it. You see, when something is false comes crashing down, it creates an opening for something real to be built in its place. It creates an opening for understanding, and it creates an opening, an opportunity for truth to have its day in the light. What is it that you wish for? A chance? Freedom? Liberation? Consistency? And support. You'll find that some of you may be getting a visit from someone who you haven't seen in a little while. And it's someone who perhaps you thought you lost them. Maybe you thought they'd never come back. Maybe you thought that they didn't see your value, they didn't see your worth that day. Moved on. Here comes the rain again. You will be surprised to know that there is beauty in the chaos, that there are still people in the world who care about truth. There are still people in the world who want to do good, and you can take your time. The devil is in the detail, Libra. There's some things that you want to fix. It's interesting, those who are in need of deliverance, those who need help, they have a difficult time accepting it. They have a difficult time accepting it. They have a difficult time recognizing. Good intentions when it's in their lives. Do not let this discourage you. Do not let this stop you from being who you are, from fighting for the things that you know are right. That hard work is, even though it's not always appreciated, even though you aren't always recognized for what you do, even though you aren't always recognized for how much you do, for how hard you try. I know. You shouldn't stop being that way. You shouldn't stop showing up that way. I don't think you do it for the credit. Do you? I don't think you do it for the gold star. I don't think you do it for the trophy. I think you do it because it's the right thing to do. Because it's the right thing to do, because it is the right thing to say. The means will always, the ends will always justify the means. So though you may be tired, I think that you can and should be proud. Of the work that you've done, and you should be proud of the kind of person that you are. It takes a special kind of person to lift up their enemies. It takes a special and loving kind of person to continue to help those who don't value the help, to continue to help those who routinely bite the hand that feeds them. It's the Lord's work you're doing. So you showed up, you helped them, and they didn't appreciate it while they had you. I don't think all of these will fit in frames, but I'll pick up each of them so that you can see them a bit better. Okay, so let's stop for a moment to turn the light on so that you can see these a bit better. Now let's talk about what's here. So in the overall energy, we have the Tower card, and the Tower for me here is about divine intervention. There is something that is happening in your life, or something happening in the lives of others that, or the lives of people you know, I should say, that seems as though it is an act of God. This is a lesson that must be learned. This is something that you must experience. And that's a bitter pill to swallow. Jesus walked with Judas for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, knowing that he would be betrayed. Many of you walk with this knowledge. They're not always going to understand your vision. The truth can seem alien to those who are not accustomed to upholding it. Where it seems that you're coming from is you have a need to cut through the smoke and mirrors. You have a desire to stand up for something real. And some will follow you, and there are some who will make you the enemy and be too afraid to. Because what it means, Libra, is that there's something that will have to change within them. There's something that will have to change. And the weight of that change that is necessary can prove to be too much to bear. So it is easier to continue to do things the wrong way. It is easier to push back than to evolve. The oracles that came out here for you are, we'll talk about these two first. We got, the first one is Saturn in Gemini, and it says concentration there at the bottom. You don't necessarily have to have these planetary placements. But I encourage you to look up this particular placement and see what you can garner from what this placement means. Now, just intuitively, what I'm getting from this is it looks like the opinions of other people, or I'm getting recklessness of the mouth. People who are slick at the mouth, very quick to speak about things that they don't understand, very quick to speak on these things, and they're speaking on it without any real understanding of how destructive it could be. The next one that came out here is birth, and we got Venus in Cancer. So yeah, some of you may be expecting. You may want to start a family. But this could not only mean birth in the traditional sense, it could also be about an idea, something that you are incubating, something that you're protecting, that you are attempting to preserve. So what would you do card that came out here is you're at a party with a bunch of people you don't know, and you realize that you are uncomfortable, but you don't know exactly the reason. What would you do? You may find yourself in a room with people you don't recognize. And if you do recognize them, even if you know their faces, you've seen them in passing, it could be that their way of viewing things, some of the things that they're expressing, some of the things that they're saying, Saturn in Gemini, you're not, you don't subscribe to those views. Their thoughts are not your thoughts, and their ways are not your ways. And you recognize this without judgment. Now, you may not have thought about it to the extent to where you can really put your finger on why it's not working out, but you just can't shake the feeling that you should not be there. I want you guys to think about that question and about what you would do in situations like these. Would you stay? Would you try to fit in with this crowd, or would you leave? I get that there is a choice that needs to be made here, and I do think that you're choosing to leave. And the sad part about it is these are people who you once thought that you would be able to find common ground with. I would liken it to expecting your family to support you, expecting your loved ones to be on your side, only to find that they've been in your lives for years, but they don't know who you are all this time, after all this time. But there's a feeling of betrayal here, and it's not all outward. For some of you, yes, it very well could be, but I do think that these are internal realizations, they're choices that you have to make, they're conclusions that you have to come to about who you want to align yourself with. Be very careful about who you seek advice from. There are some who want you to conform, who want you to go over to the dark side. And that's a very dangerous game to play. Don't let the cold world make you cold. And I don't think that you should stop being who you are, and I don't think that you should stop loving, and I don't think that you should stop trying to get people to see the light and to do things the right way. The fact that there is someone in the room, the fact that you're in the room, it's that real component that the room needs in order to elevate. Even if they don't tell you that what you're saying makes sense, even if they don't tell you that you're right, and I don't think that that's what it's about. I don't think that you're wishing for or wanting people to tell you that you're right. It's deeper than that. It's about doing what's right. And I think the fact that they don't, it can get a bit discouraging at times. There's a lot of mercy in your energy, a lot of grace. It is a sad fact that tragedy has a tendency to unite. Ten of Pentacles coming out, clarifying the Tower, also the Four of Swords. If you're looking for a break, if it's been hard to catch one, I would say that it's fair to say that that break is here, and many of you are in a position where you can be merciful towards those who are in a compromising position, towards those who need it the most. That's what makes you beautiful, Libra. That's what makes you special. It is a very magical quality, isn't it? To be able to see the good in people, to be able to see the God in people, where they struggle to see it themselves. Work will get better. Work will get better. Work is getting better. And all that you need to do is continue to do what you have been doing. Continue to devote your talents to a purpose. Let's take a look at that Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups clarified by the King of Swords. You're focusing on what matters most. You're able to be there for people who need you the most. I know you're tired. I know that it hurts sometimes. And I know they don't always want to work with you. Let go. Do the good deed and forget about it. Do the good deed and let go of any expectation that you have associated with it. Let's take a look at the Devil card next. The Devil card clarified by strength. These are acts of compassion that we're talking about, aren't they? Queen of Pentacles, these are acts of compassion that we're talking about. We're talking about sensibility. King of Wands, we're talking about leadership. We're talking about setting a good example. We're talking about being the change that you would like to see in the world. Ace of Wands and the Empress, absolutely beautiful. We're talking about you. And we're talking about what you're embodying, what you're exhibiting. The good deed is its own reward. Eight of Swords, Knight of Swords, but how do you remain open? How do you continue to be receptive in the face of people who are saying some pretty harsh things? Or if they're not saying harsh things, they misinterpret what you're saying. Well, don't try to convince them. Don't try to convince them. Do the good deed and let it go. Do a good deed and throw it into the sea. I want to come down here now and talk about this love that's lost. Clarifying this, down here we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot in reverse, and there was one that's flipped over here. Temperance. Take the high road, or if not the high road, take the middle path. Do not overreact. Temper yourself when it comes to this. And let's talk about judgment. What this down here looks like to me is it looks like that moment after something happens when you get to choose how you're going to respond to it. Queen of Swords. Whoa. And the Moon. I like this combination. I like this combination a lot. This is someone who doesn't take life too seriously. This is someone who trusts. This is someone who has faith in the face of fear, or they have trust in the unknown. Very, very beautiful. We need a few more. 1, 2, 3. So you may be dealing with a Capricorn. Someone could have hazel eyes. Someone's name could start with a J, a K, or an L. The number 5, the number 8. Text me. Ego. This reads like an ego death to me. You would have had to have had an ego death to be able to see the beauty in people and continue to support them the way you do. February. Petty. I think that speaks of their behavior. Intimidation. And June. If you guys would like some more content, I'm very pleased to say that the links to the Way Out podcast will be in the description box of this video. Thank you so much for your patience. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you feel so inclined to donate, I would greatly appreciate it. I'll see you in the next one.